Okay, hey, Shalom Akim. Shalom. Okay, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Barakatha Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, Barakatha Kakadash. Okay, double honors to our apostles of Great Millstone, our elders of GMS. Okay, and salutation, peace, and much blessings to your hopeful elect fellow laborers, the children of Israel, people of Negro and Indian descent. Okay, you faith-based Israelites, all right, Israelite foreigners, and women as well, Aqua, who's humbling themselves to escape these pollutions of this world and get delivered. All right, what I have here, first I want to read this scripture, which is pretty much a very good introduction to what examples I have to show you what's going on these days. It says here, Matthews 24 and 27, for nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places. And with that, I wanted to use the word pestilence and bring another word in as well, plagues. Okay, which this is all the works of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, which is tools he's using to bring down this wicked queendom. I always refer to it as queendom because they all have the spirit of sodomites on them and the spirit of a woman. So that's why I say queendoms in a lot of most of the times. And besides this, how they lift the woman up and pretty much putting the woman ahead of men. What does it say in the scriptures? That they that lead thee to error, referring to these women. Okay, so I say in verse 8, and all these are the beginning of sorrow. See, this is just the beginning, what's going down here. And this is what I have, this example here. And this is just the beginning. And some of these things that the wicked is going to start experiencing before they're actually burnt up is a lot of torments. They're going to begin tormented. There's some torments that's going to take them out. There's some they're going to live until they're burnt up. They're going to just suffer on their way out, And this is just an example of one of those. And look at this here. Who would have ever imagined that plagues and pestilence coming up out of the water? Who would have ever imagined that water that you use to hydrate your body and quench your thirst? These people said they returned home and they took a shower, and next thing you know, they developing rashes on their body. And I think this is just one account. I hope this isn't taken down for some goddamn medical advice, because that's the last thing I'm trying to give. Get another strike. My channel, GMS Wisdom and Rage, right now it's on locks right now for a week. Till next Thursday, next Friday. I'm not sure which day it is. For a video I uploaded, I didn't speak on it. It's just a video I uploaded from someone else's video that they recorded from a screenshot, and I uploaded it, and it was labeled "Is this real?" I think it was labeled "Is this real?" And it was speaking about anyway what's going down now, especially behind closed doors with these secret societies, putting the clamp down on the world, period. But anyway, my channel is on lockdown, and GMS Wisdom and Rage, and this is my secondary channel, which ultimately going to end up being my main channel after a while, after I pick up some steam and pick up a lot of subscribers or whatever, but that's going to take some time. It always takes time. But anyway, residents near Ohio train derailment reported dead fish and chickens. But this is what I want here. East Palace. Residents word rashes, headaches, and other symptoms may be tied to chemicals from train crash. I want to see if there's actual images, because this actual there's videos on it where the actual people are speaking, but I'm not going to go and grab any of that. Of Cartoon News Network. Like I said, there's some that you're going to live through, and there's some those they're going to die through. And this is all the works of Yahweh Shem Yahshua. Deuteronomy 30 and 19. I call heaven and earth to record this day, to record this day against you, that I have set before you life and death, blessing and cursing. Therefore choose life, that both thou and thy seed may live. And there's some that, again, that's going to come forth that you're going to see people dropping dead. And we're seeing that. We're seeing many examples of people just dropping dead because they went and drank that, what do the brothers refer to it as, that Capri Sun. All the names, man, that Kool-Aid. I like to refer to it as pretty much what it is, a witch's serum. I try to keep it as real as possible, because that's all a lot of these physicians and people of the medical field are, the scientists of the world. They're nothing but a bunch of witches and warlocks, So that's all that's been visited. These people are being cursed with, the ungodly are pretty much just being cursed for that very simple fact that they're the ungodly, They're the ungodly, period. It's amazing what's going on now. 2 Ezra 16 and 37. Behold, the plagues draw nigh and are not slack. And like I said before, who would have never ever imagined the water itself coming with something, And like I said, there's every day when I'm out grinding on the grind, I pass by this this area where it's the government. What it did was they set it up so that the water is actually coming up out of an underground stream, and it's constantly been flowing. And all these couple of years I've been driving by this place, it's just flowing, man. And it's an actual stream of water coming up out the ground and going into a little well that you can go and dip your cup or buckets in, or you can just put it over the fountain, the two fountains itself that's shooting the water out. And and I was always thinking that the Most High, in that day, because a famine of water and bread is coming, that I always thought that he was going to dry it up. I never thought that he was going to, I made the mistake. I know now that it never occurred to me that he was going to actually make the water itself hazardous and not just drying it up, but in that day, the people going to drink whatever they can drink anyway to get that tongue from being stuck to the cliff of its mouth. These people are going to be in a state of desperation, man. The Most High is literally about to give them a spiritual ass whooping. It says in 16 and 37, behold, the plagues draw nigh and are not slack. And it's here comes another one. And here comes another one. And this is just the beginning of whatever happened with this that train, that chemical train spill that happened just not too far from where I am. An hour and a half from where I am. What other curse is going to come up out of it other than the rashes and the water itself being poisoned? It says that as when a woman with child in the 9th month bringeth forth her son, with 2 or 3 hours of her birth, great pains have compassed her wombs, which pains when the child cometh forth, they slack not a moment. Slack it. Even so shall the plagues be slack to come upon the earth, and the world shall mourn, and sorrows shall come upon it on every side. Slack the demons. Have to keep pushing pause. These demons keep running in and out the door. Anyway, even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth, and the world shall mourn, and sorrow shall come upon it on every side. In every side, in every way. I mean, there's going to be some unexpected plagues. Okay, again. Even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth, and the world shall mourn, and sorrow shall come upon it on every side. We're going to start witnessing things that we never could have imagined. Like I said, that was just a slip up of mine, not expecting it. Again, like I was always looking, which he may just do just that as well. Dry up these natural spring waters and springs that pop up in certain locations around, especially here in Ohio, but let's just say around the Babylon period, because I'm sure there's thousands or more natural spring water springs just popping up that they may have built. But anyway, he may just dry them up, just like he's drying up, what is it, the Mississippi River, the great Mississippi River is drying up, even in Ohio River as well. The Ohio River has been reported to be highly toxic. The water is not drinkable, man, and it's not drinkable, you know. So again, that what's coming? What is that famine? A major famine. Let me see if there's more. Is there more to this here? Oh, my people, hear my word. Make you ready to the battle, and in those evil be as pilgrims upon the earth. All right. So make you ready to the battle. You know, get your mind right. You know, get your mind right, because there's nothing going to turn this thing around. You know, it's going to go full. It's going to come full steam ahead, man. You know, all some things, and being as pilgrims, man. You know, you know, we may think we have some so-called stability for the moment, but it itself is going to vanish. Having an apartment, having a home, you know, it's how bad things are going to get. You're going to have to go on the move. You know, you're going to have to. You know, these devils, their true nature is going to come out. Your so-called neighbor that, you know, that you speak to and may speak to you, you know, ultimately is going to turn against you. You know, and to the point that, you know, it's there's not going to be no other ultimatum but to shed blood. That's how bad it's going to get out here. And it's going to be everywhere, man. The work of the Lord is going to affect 100% of the earth's population, you know, and you want to talk about affecting 100%. Babylon's done, man. He's going to turn this place into a literal, the Night of the Living Dead war zone, you know, on steroids. On steroids. There was a zombie movie with Vin Rams and with, I like to call him Holiday's Heart now, with Holiday's Heart in where everybody was so surprised. It was the first zombie movie where the zombies was running, you know, running at top speed, man. Everybody was used to the zombies walking in that slow motion, and even though they were coming in the thousands of thousands, they would still get captured. The kids still get cornered, you know, and everybody was so like shocked that the zombies were running, man. You know, and that's how, hey, when all hell breaks loose, when it gets bad, man, when the real hell starts, when the STH, what is it? When the shit hits the fan, SHTH, TF, slock it. When the real shit hits the fan, man, it's gonna be exactly that. You know, there's a shocking things that's gonna be happening around us, the plagues, the pestilence that's gonna be coming. It's gonna be whole lot of things that the people are just not waiting for, not looking for, you know, and what they're seeing is just, this is just the worst it's gonna get. It can't get no worse than this, you know. That's a joke on you. That's a joke on these people, man. You know, not knowing that the power of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua is you don't play. It's nothing to play with. So again, a lot of these things that's going to happen. We're going to be witnesses. Some people are just going to be dying, and some of them are sent upon the earth to take some out, to unalive those. That seems to be a common saying now, to unalive people. And there are some people are just going to be sit here just to suffer, man. You know, and the torment. That's the word I was looking for. Torment. Let me see if I can see what comes up here. I'm still so disturbed, man. From my channel being under the suspension. I hate that when it happens. I'm not gonna lie, man. It bothers the hell out of me, man. You know. But again, you know, it work has to. It continues on. You know, I'm gonna have to learn how to, you know, figure out how to market my page better, and you know, I said market. I mean, I guess it is a form of marketing. But, you know. The C to the H to the I to the P, which, you know, that's another way a lot of these people are going to get tormented. Another way that's going to help bring upon a plague or pestilence. I'm going to have to go into the word itself. Going like pestilence. Yes, let me go here. Let me do this instead. This Bible seems to give me a lot more. That blue letter doesn't have an apocrypha. This is 2 verse 13 to 30. And shall lay before them their evil thoughts, and the torments wherewith they shall begin to be tormented, which are like unto a flame. And he shall destroy them without labor by the law, which is like unto me. Psalm 6:6. Horribly and speedy shall he come upon you, for a sharp judgment shall be to them that be in high places. For mercy will soon pardon the meanest, but mighty men shall be mightily tormented. For he which is Lord over all shall fear no man's person, neither shall he stand in awe of any man's greatness. For he hath made the small and great, and care for all alike. But a sore trial shall come upon the mighty. And unto you, therefore, O kings, do I speak, that ye may learn wisdom and not fall away. For and it's mentioned mighty here and O kings here, and that brings to mind the scripture in Daniel's where the king, and I'm not sure if it was the king or the king's son, who was the king, he got tormented and he got turned into a beast. You know, and he started growing feathers and things like that, you know, and tormented mentally as well, you know, which the king, or was it the king's son? I'm speaking of Daniel, saw the writing on the wall, and can you imagine that the mental state he was in at that moment? He was being tormented in his mind, you know, literally tormented in his mind for what he saw. You know, and again, like I said, being visited with plagues and pestilences, and again, it goes much deeper than that, with like famines and wars. You know, we've been dying by the sword. You got to bring into play here the mental aspect of this thing, like I was saying, being tormented mentally. The Most High is about to work on this world, man, that You know, we come short even explaining it to the people. You know, he's about to do a work on these people. Let me see, where is that? Daniel. Let me see if I can find it. Daniel 5, Daniel 6. 5, let me see if I was in 5 here. There it is. I'm not sure if this is the right one though. You saw the hand. Remember the hand started to write on the wall. And this is part of it. But has lifted up thyself against the Lord of heaven. Oh, and thou, his son, O Belshazzar, has not humbled thy heart, though thou knewest all this. This is how you know America's done. Babylon's done, man. This is the perfect example of that America's done, but has lifted up thyself against the Lord of heaven, and they have brought the vessels of his house before thee, and thou and thy lords, thy wives and thy concubines, have drunk wine in them, and thou hast praised the power, the gods of silver and gold and brass and iron and wood and stone. They were brass and they were living large, you know what I mean? Living large, doing it big. How do they say it in Boondocks? Granddad, you know, when he wanted to take a trip, he wanted to go do it big once again. Ended up going on a trip and wasn't nowhere near that's what he thought he was going to have, the good time he thought he was going to have. You know, ended up having a boring, dull time and went home early. Anyway, and this is how these devils are, doing it big. And while they living high on that mountain, the Most High suddenly brought it down. Okay, which see not, nor hear, nor know, and the power of in those hand thou breath is, and who are all thy ways hast thou not glorified. Then was the part of the hand sent from him, and a writing was written, and this is the writing that was written, Mene, Tekel, or Fasen. This is interpretation of the thing, Mene, power have numbered thy kingdom and finished it. But let me get to the part that I wanted. Let me get to the part that I really wanted. Let me see if I can find the part where I really wanted. And so I'm just like, I'm doing this out of the spirit led me here. I didn't pre-read this and plan it. You know. Okay, here where they really thought he had it going on. Then they brought the golden vessels that were taken out of the temple of the house of the Most High, which was at Jerusalem, and the king and its princes, his wives and his concubines drank in them. They drank wine and praised the Most High, and praised the gods of gold and of silver and brass and iron and wood and stone. In the same hour came forth fingers of a man's hand, and wrote over against the candlestick upon the plaster of the wall. This is literal, of the king's palace, and the king saw the part of the hand that wrote. Now, can you imagine that? You know, in the scripture, there's a scripture in the Apocrypha, Wisdom of Solomon, that speak of apparitions, and hey, these things is real, man. And that's exactly what's people are not putting into the equation of the last days, thinking it's just going to be calling on Jesus Christ and it's going to be fine and dandy. Fine and dandy. These people have no ideal, man. You know, that's why it's important for us to stay in the truth, continue praying and watching, being brotherly, and just laboring, period, you know, laboring in truth and keeping it 100. It's important, man, and important, you know, and with all that said, that means that you're calling on the real name. And, oh, man, can you see the video of them idiots put up, man? You see the apostles putting up the video of these clowns on the highways and byways, two dudes, man. I'm talking about we don't have the name. And I mean, just people just getting worse and worse, waxing worse and worse and worse. That name, man, the name is important, you know. Keep calling on that name, man, because what's coming, man, we're going to need it. I mean, I can't express it enough. We're going to need it. We're going to need that name, man. You know? And besides, he knows who's faithful. He knows who's have faith in that name. He knows who those are that elect to have faith in that name, who we continue to call on that name. So anyway, let me get back into this. The time when they thought they had it going on, they drank wine and praised the gods of gold and of silver and brass, of iron, of wood, and of stone. In the same hour came forth fingers of a man's hand and wrote over against a candlestick upon the plaster of the wall of the king's palace. And the king saw the part of the hand that wrote. Then the king's countenance was changed. And imagine this, put the whole 2/3 and the rest of the heathen nations in this same position, man, on these days that are coming. Then the king's countenance was changed, and his thoughts troubled him, so that the joints of his loins were loosed, and his knees smote one against another. He was in shock, and he just, and may not have it say, it don't say it, but he may have pissed or shitted on himself as well. When his loins were loose, he just let loose. Let me, Daniel 5 and 6. It's like, oops. Daniel 5 and 6. The king's countenance was changed, and his thoughts troubled him, so that the joints of his loins were loose, and his knees smote against one another. Going hip joint. He just got weak. I'm saying what you say. And his face turned pale with fright. His knees knocked together in fear. He just got weak. He had no control. Everything just let loose. And his legs gave way beneath him. The king shouted for his enchanters, astrologers, and fortune tellers to be brought before him. He said to these wise men of Babylon, whoever can read this writing and tell me what it means will be dressed in purple robes of royal honor and will have a gold chain placed around his neck. He will become the third highest ruler in this kingdom. In this case here, we're giving it to the kings of Babylon, to the king of Babylon, telling them being destroyed. But we don't want what these devils have to offer us. Our crown is coming from, like the scripture says in 2nd Ezra, from the young man with tall stature, Yahushua. That's the gold we're waiting for. That's the gold, the precious gold that we're waiting for. So he was terrified, man. And again, these days that are coming, man, got to put into the equation the mental aspect of this side, the mental aspect of these people that's going to get tormented, man. Again, like the scripture says, it's going to get bad, man. These people are going to seek death and not find it. They're going to seek death and not find it, man. They're going to be attempts of suicide, and all they're going to do is end up maiming themselves, and that's it, man. And again, they're going to be tormented on their way out. Man. It's about to get bad, man. It's about to get real bad. Something like this is nothing. East Palestine, Ohio. Some residents of East Palestine, Ohio say they have developed rashes, sore throats, nausea, and headaches after returning to their homes this week, and they're worried these new symptoms are related to chemical release at a train derailment 2 weeks ago. And what I just found out there's actually been 12 major chemical disasters that are happening right now. There's 12, and it caught my mind that number 12, and that just caught my mind, man. Usually, like most I do things in 7, which represent completion, but that it just caught my eyes that if there was 12, there's 12 natural chemical. Now I said natural. There's actually 12 chemical disasters going on right now. 12 major chemical disasters that are going right now across Babylon. 12, man. You know. So is that all I have here? Let me see here. Let me see. Pestilences. Well, I wanted to go into that word pestilence. Where's the main one? The Lord shall make the pestilence cleave unto thee. Deuteronomy. Plagues. How do you say it?
Strong's H 1698. Dever. Dever.
H1696. In the sense of destroying. In the sense of destroying. So he's sending these things upon Babylon to destroy it. To destroy it. And they're not going to stop. These things are not going to stop until he until it completes its course. Until the task is complete. You know? Period. Until the task is complete, man. You know? And again, it's going to come in all forms of matter. Manner, you know? All forms of manner. The Lord shall smite thee with Salakim. The Lord shall make the pestilence cleave unto thee until he have consumed thee from off the land where thou goest to possess it. And the Lord shall smite thee with consumption and with the fever and with the inflammation and with the extreme burning. Rash, can you imagine a rash? Rash never feel good, man. The consumption. Wasting disease of the lungs. And a fever, and with an inflammation. A burning fever, inflammation. These things about to multiply, and with an extreme burning, and with the sword, and with blasting, and with mildew. And they shall pursue thee until thou perish. Until thou perish. It's ultimately Babylon. Until Babylon perish. Until Babylon perish. And that ultimate plague is the fire. That's mentioned in the book of Revelation. The ultimate plague is the fire. You know? So, hope you're edified till next time. Give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh. Shem Yahshai. Shalom.